The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Thursday afternoon edition of the Bostonian versus the book. He's Dave Sharapan. I'm Matt Perrault. Yes, today is one of those days where the show title actually makes sense. I'm in New England. Dave is in Las Vegas. We are live on YouTube at Boston versus the book, and the same on Twitter X. We are replayed on Sports Grid Television and Sirius XM channel 159. And Eric Raskin from CasinoReports.com will be on by here in just 1 second. Lots to get into with him. But Dave, first and foremost, happy opening day. Should today be a holiday?
No, not a holiday. I mean, they're starting the games late. It's all night games, kind
Why?
of. I don't know. I guess people watch TV at night. That's
They
what they
do.
say. I don't know.
Day baseball is always opening day is 1 o'clock Eastern. I was getting ready for the show, and I was like, I was watching MLB Network, and I was like, the first game's at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, why? That's
I know.
weird.
Don't understand it, but it is what it is. So there'll be games on all night against the basketball. I guess it is what it is.
Well,
Against
then-
hockey. Will Garton, you were so pissed. Yeah. You have no idea how pissed I am about things, but that's okay, Will. We're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it clean best we can. Make sure my headshot is right. Stay in that box, Dave, right here. Things are going well. Baseball today. That's good.
I mean, Eric Raskin is going to come on from CasinoReport.com. We're going to get with the passing of George Foreman and about Sports Illustrated. He wrote a great article yesterday on CasinoReport.com about Sports Illustrated entering the prediction market. But from a sports fan perspective, this is a crazy day. Like, I was just going through it going, wait a minute. We've got 14 baseball games.
Yep.
We have 10 hockey games. We have 7 NBA games, and we have 4 NCAA tournament Sweet 16 games all today. This is
Glad we don't have any CBI games.
No. But I mean, if you're in the book, what's this like today? Because this has to be a handle extravaganza, no?
Yes and no. It's an odd time because it's post March Madness. So I don't think you can get anything close to that handle.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's a fun day to be in the book, especially if you like baseball, because normally you got games that started at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Right.
So it's a little different right now. I'm headed down to Circa after the show, pop in and say hello to some guys about some things. So
Nice.
that'll be fun. And they did their opening day ceremony today. They had Maddox throw out the first pitch and did all that stuff.
Pretty
So
good.
they embraced the baseball there.
Who caught it? Who caught the ball? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't see. I was going to go down before and check all that out, but I'm going to go after the show.
Okay.
Don't forget, there's a lot of books too that have horse racing. There's horse racing going on top of everything else. So everybody there's cranky because all these people. Yeah, don't forget the tennis and the ping pong games. That's other states. You guys in other states are doing.
We love our Twitter questions. In the book, where does everyone focus mainly on a day like today, Dave? What's the focus?
Time
of the day
gets set.
He means marketing. What market gets the most attention? Like, if you're the guy controlling the sound, who gets this? Like, what games get the sound today?
Every book will be a little bit different until the basketball starts. College basketball will get the sound.
Okay.
Did the Knights play today? I don't think the Knights play today. There's a lot of
they
books
might.
put on the
there's
Knights. Hold on, let me see.
10 games hockey today. Everyone's playing.
No, the Knights don't play today.
Okay.
So there will not be hockey on any of the.
Jeff Benning, tip time is approximately 10:05 for Arkansas tonight.
Wow.
I mean, it is ridiculous. We're starting East Coast time at 10 o'clock. Amanda said to me, she's like, oh, so you'll be watching that by yourself? I was like, yeah. I'm watching it. Like, she'll be asleep. 10 o'clock. That's if the first game doesn't run long.
Right.
That's only if we're on schedule. The tip time is 10:05
Right.
for Arkansas Texas Tech.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So baseball today takes more handle than hockey does, and hockey's
Obviously,
been going all season.
Right.
The NBA is, let's see here. It's a full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
Yeah.
NBA. Memphis OKC will get a little handle. I guess the Lakers and the Bulls will. But there's going to be a lot of nothing burgers in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. In the NBA. Absolutely. Okay. So Raskin's here. So let's run through a couple of quick things before we bring him on. First and foremost, our Sweet 16 Survivor contest ends coming up here at 4:00 Eastern time. Okay. So if you've not entered into it, your final time to enter it is right now, splashsports.com/BVB to enter. When the first game tips off, the Survivor contest will lock up to 3 entries. You guys can go ahead and take care of whatever you're going to do. So BVB Survivor Sprint, as they're calling it, splashsports.com/BVB to enter into that said contest. It's at 4:00. So we're about an hour and 15 minutes away from when that thing is going to lock. So got to get into it right now if you're watching live. The
last check on that is that there will be not 100 people in it, so it won't even be close.
Right,
so
to get a chance to get into it.
Go in and sweep the pot against less people.
True.
So go in there and do it.
Winner take all. And then you against GRP is the main conversation in the chat at the moment. With this head-to-head thing that you got going on with him at the moment.
Yeah.
So there are some people who are questioning whether or not it's on the up and up. There's been maybe some shenanigans going on here with the voting.
I have no idea.
You were in the lead, and then all of a sudden, like 40 votes came in like crazy. So people were trying to push it out. Is it on your Twitter account to go vote, or where can they find it?
Yeah, it's on there. Picture of me and GRP, him in his flower shirt, me in a Boston Red Sox hat. Might be the reason why I'm losing. I don't know.
Hey,
we'll find out.
It's opening day.
But yeah, it's up there. The poll's up there. HBK on Twitter has the poll thing.
Frozen Forest tonight? No, the first round. Yeah. Well, the first round of the Frozen Champion playoffs.
The hockey games.
Yeah. It's tonight.
Yep.
Like here in New Hampshire, like down the street from where I am. Is BC playing tonight?
I think the first games,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in Manchester, so that's where one of the regionals are.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty great.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So it's close. 379 to 365. So if you guys haven't voted, go vote right now.
Yeah.
Go do it, because it's every vote's going to count, obviously.
Right. We're going to finish the show 1:30 Pacific. It ends at 2:00 Pacific. So,
perfect.
That's when I'm going to push it back out to see if we can get the late vote.
One more
I don't know if it's the rural vote. CBW keeps saying it's the rural vote. It's the city vote. I have no idea. If you want to vote for me to keep the run going as a 16 seed,
let's go
against GRP in his notebooks. I mean, this Raskin guy came up with a great term. He quote tweeted it yesterday or this morning. The vote. Consigarella.
There we
instead
go.
Of Cinderella.
Right.
Yeah.
Consigarella.
Yeah.
Eric Raskin's article, Sports Illustrated brand enters the prediction market space yesterday following failed regulatory and regulated sportsbook attempts. Remember, they had the 888 white label brand of Sports Illustrated, or SIBet.com, or whatever they were calling it. Did not go anywhere. So now they're partnering with another entity to come up with non-custodial platform. I don't know what that means, Dave. So let's go ahead and ask Eric what that means. What is a non-custodial platform that jumps in? He is Eric Raskin, CasinoReport.com, joining us here on BBB. Eric, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're great.
We're good. Nice Phillies hat.
Listen, I got my opening day gear on. I had to gear up. Got the jersey. Middle-aged white guy from Philly. I got to wear the Chase Utley jersey. And the Phillies hat. And although actually, Dave, my wife and my daughter are heading up this weekend to Pittsburgh.
Really?
Not to see the Pirates play, but to visit the school. But
to go see Pitt,
they go to visit Pitt.
Yeah, it's Accepted Students Day. My daughter's a senior, so she's trying to make up her mind. So as an in-state resident, I'm hoping she really likes Pitt.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That'd be a good start.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, forget about moving, I guess, west or wherever. Like, what the hell is going on with these prediction markets? I mean, you wrote that article. I saw it. I read it. Matt just said it. There's a lot of terms in there that really sound like this is really sports betting, but they're inventing new terms. Prediction market. Let's start there. What is that?
So prediction market, and I should say that before we get into the nitty gritty of the terms, it's sports betting. Okay, let's be clear about that. Okay,
Right, yeah,
but
just want to make sure.
Prediction market, meaning basically similar to the exchange wagering model that's legal at a couple places in New Jersey, similar to stock investing, I guess, but basically the only difference between this and the traditional sports betting really is that it's peer versus peer as opposed to against the house. And the other difference is it's not regulated state by state. It's regulated by the CFTC. Although in the case of this SI Predict, they're saying they're not even going to be regulated by the CFTC. They can do whatever they want, but out of the kindness of their hearts, they're going to comply with CFTC regulations. So they say.
And pay taxes?
Your
Maybe.
guess is as good as mine on on that
Wait.
one.
All right, this is a bit of a curveball because I was unaware of this.
Yeah.
So they're claiming that this is not the same as Kalshi and Robinhood. This is a new jurisdiction, or this is a new thing that they're offering. It is not the same as what we have seen already be in the news.
It is very similar to all this. I'm trying to look up how they worded it. This was in a separate article that one of the guys.
They're not
Stuart
waiting for CFTC approval.
Right.
Which is
So
fine.
here it is.
That.
This was in the article that Bloomberg wrote. They specifically spoke to Stuart Stott, which is really hard not to say Stuart Scott, but it's Stuart Stott, the CEO of Galactic, the company that is basically acquired the SI brand for the purposes of SI Predict.
UK based company. Nothing against the UK, but it's a UK based company.
Okay. So they said that he said that they intend to follow CFTC regulations, but quote, as a non-custodial platform, it does not need to be regulated. So
it does not need to be regulated, said by everybody in the world that ever was doing something nefarious. Okay. Right. That's pretty wild that they're going to play that road. Okay. Let me ask you this question, because Dave and I talked about this yesterday about, I'm in New Hampshire, so I'm very close to Massachusetts. It's where I'm from. And so you see Mass now saying, okay, we're going to take a long, hard look at this. And we've got people who are going to be asking questions of Kalshi about what's going on. Kalshi appears to be banking on the fact that they have somebody in the Trump administration that is very high up here that used to be part of their operation, and that Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, is also on the board for Kalshi, that they feel like the federal government has no say in what they are doing. Is this state by state then? Is this all going to be done by which state wants to make it illegal and legal?
I guess. I mean, Massachusetts it has always, or not always, but over these last several years since post-PASPA, sports betting has come along, Massachusetts has been the most aggressive with regulating the activity in their state, as you probably know. Nevada is also right up there, and those are the two states that seem to be singling out the prediction market style betting that is coming to their states. Certainly it appears that Kalshi, Robinhood, any of the other ones that are doing this believe that they're governed by the CFTC and they're not going to have to answer to any states. But we see a couple of states now starting to push back. So that's the big question is who has jurisdiction here? Who has power? If the federal government via the CFTC says, yeah, this is this is fine. We're allowing it. And by the way, everyone assumes that's what they're going to say for the reasons that you just stated, because of who's embedded there and who's connected to whom and where the various conflicts of interest lie, that it appears it's going to be smooth sailing on that end. But then can a state overrule that? Can a state say, Massachusetts can say, no, Robinhood, you cannot take sports event contracts in our state because we regulate sports betting here? I have no idea where that goes if the states are conflicting with the federal government on this.
Is it different than sweepstakes? Because sweepstakes is a whole nother thing that just decided to do whatever and then not even pretend to ask for forgiveness later. They just went and did it. And now they're starting to get cease and desist letters and, senators pushing bills to say this isn't right or this isn't legal. Is this different, the same, or just completely unrelated?
So it's different. It's I would say fairly unrelated, other than the fact that these are separately the two biggest stories going on in our industry this year, that they keep getting more and more complicated and controversial. And they're similar in that these are both gray areas of the law, where these operators are finding loopholes and trying to offer what we clearly recognize as some form of gambling, and trying to claim it's not this or it's not that. But and different in the sense that the sweepstakes stuff has mostly focused on casino, as opposed to, there's been some of them do the sports betting, Fliff most prominently, but that's mostly been casino operation, and in a whole different way with the dual currencies and the social gaming with sweepstakes prizing, as they like to call it. It's different than what's going on right now with the prediction markets, but they are similar in that people are becoming aware of these at the same time as the operators behind them are being very bold in just declaring, we're going to do this, we're going to launch, we're not paying taxes, we're not regulated, and so here they are. So yes, they're similar in that regard, that like these are the two stories that, as someone covering the industry, I can't get away from them. Jeff Edelstein and I recorded our Low Rollers podcast this morning, and we always like to do a primary news story of the week that we focus on. And yesterday we were discussing what's our story going to be. We've been doing either prediction markets or sweepstakes every week for like the last month and a half, it feels like. Let's try and find something different. And then SI Predict comes out and Publishers Clearinghouse says they're launching a sweepstakes site. And we're like, I guess we're talking sweepstakes and prediction markets again.
Eric, we want to talk about the passing of George Foreman, because obviously that's a huge story, obviously, remembering his life and his impact in his boxing career. But before we do that, the SI sweepstakes, this gray area that we are currently all living in, what in terms of where we go from here, if you are a sports book, and we've talked to Alex Kane from Sport Trade a lot about this, if you are somebody who is operating in the legal regulated market and you have raised millions of dollars in order to pay for a license in said state, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, trying to compete. So you're constantly trying to go to your investors and say, hey, we want to open in Arizona. We want to open in Virginia. We want to open in Ohio. So we're going in raising this capital. We're paying taxes in those states. We're doing everything. We have to have people, in those states employed by us to go and work. And then this comes up where people can just say, yeah, I'm not doing any of that. And DraftKings is going to go ahead and basically bless it by coming up with DK Predict, showing that they are going to go into this unregulated market, even though they're currently in the regulated market. We don't have anyone really like leading this. Like what happens here? Because it feels like the whole industry could crater if we're going to go ahead and say the regulated market has no power anymore. Just do this unregulated thing and forget about what the states have passed.
Yeah, it's got to be infuriating if you're an Alex Kane, who has probably been the most outspoken. You said we don't have a leader. He's been one of the more outspoken people out on the front lines, bringing this to everyone's attention. But yeah, it's obviously deeply unfair to the companies that have gone through the proper processes. And what is their reward? It's that now the states that are in which they're regulated are trying to raise taxes on them, many of them above the taxes they'd agreed to. So it just gets worse and worse for the regulated books, the ones that, so some of them, like DraftKings, FanDuel, they're so big they can make their other moves, whether it's DraftKings Predict, FanDuel Flutter has sort of hinted at being interested in doing something similar. Those two seem somewhat impervious to it, but for those smaller books like a Sport Trade, a Prime, any of the ones that are existing without being among the top 2 or 3 or 4, this really squeezes them, and they have to decide, I think, do I go into prediction markets as well? And then it's just like a giant 50-state free-for-all. And a lot of it comes down to being able to read the writing on the wall in terms of what's going to be accepted and legal,
Right.
where and what isn't. And at the moment, the wind is blowing positively, I would say, for prediction markets being allowed in most, if not all, states. And sweepstakes is looking a little iffier. There are a lot more state regulators trying to get rid of them.
I'm amazed at Sports Illustrated tried it, and you wrote it in the article. I mean, I actually interviewed to talk to those people to work for Sports Illustrated Sportsbook, and it just didn't work. Terms, it wasn't going to happen. Anyhow, it was vastly under-successful. I mean, completely unsuccessful. And then they changed the term and say it's prediction markets, and now we're all in. We don't have to spend the marketing. We're going to be in all 50 states. It's going to be okay, and we're going to make money. Like what? So, my question is this: why do they think it's going to work the second time when it didn't work the first time? Or is there something behind the move?
I would suspect that the main thing is that there is such a low barrier to entry now that they don't have a hole to dig out of in terms of the license fees, the taxes that they would be paying, all that sort of stuff, that at least if this is not a smashing success, maybe it can still be profitable without being a smashing success. That's my read from the outside, because if anyone is actually looking at it with this company Galactic and looking at it and saying, Sports Illustrated is this dominant brand that people are going to really respond to, I think, you're living in a time that ended 40 years ago, and
Right.
the SI Sportsbook, as you said, did not take off. Even the ESPN name on a sports book has not proven very successful. The Fox name on a sports book
Came and
failed.
went.
So,
Just
yeah.
boom, boom.
So
bye.
I don't think that these media brands attached to a sports book really drive anything. As I was saying to Edelstein this morning, the one that stands out in the prediction market competition right now to me is Robinhood, because they're in the position that DraftKings and FanDuel were in when sports betting launched, that they have that customer base already set up, that they're the one with the inside track. But again, if the bar doesn't have to be that high for SI Predict to succeed, I would assume that that's why they're getting into it, that they don't need to have millions and millions of customers in order to make it worthwhile because of the barrier to entry.
All right, just to put a bow on it, we'll get to the Foreman thing next. In Massachusetts, they're claiming that they're going to pull the database from Robinhood and find out how many people are using the Kalshi offerings for the March Madness right now. They want to know how many people in Massachusetts are actually using this in betting with Kalshi. What's that number going to look like, in your opinion, once it does be, put out? Is this actually being used by people, or are they inflating these numbers to make people think that they're actually doing any business?
I don't know. I see Dave making some hand gestures.
Small.
Nobody has ever made that hand gesture in my direction, Dave. I have to be clear about that.
Oh, pardon me. I mean, you're right. I should have known. All right. How about like this for you, E? All right.
Right. There. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you.
fine.
Much appreciated. So we did publish an article that Chris Altruda wrote earlier this week about what the handle was, not just in Massachusetts, but nationally on March Madness, that they were saying 200 million or so of handle.
246, Eric. They said 246 million.
The number has sort of kept adjusting up and down a little bit.
So. It's like the vote.
Yeah. So
for
Right.
George and me right now. They're
Right.
all over the place.
Right. You don't know what numbers to trust exactly. But and also because it's a two-way market, does that handle equate to really sort of like half of that in traditional sportsbook terms? I'm not sure. I would assume, going back to your hand gestures, Dave, that yeah, these numbers are not going to be overwhelmingly large yet. I can't anecdotally, I don't know of a lot of people sports betting on Robinhood yet, but
Right.
could it get there as people become more comfortable with it, more aware of it, as they add more markets? Yeah, I think there's a lot of room for growth, certainly.
Yeah, there is room for growth, whether it's like this or like this. I mean, listen, you get the show. You're absolutely right. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about George Foreman because it happened last week. George passed away, and I said, "Oh, we'll get E to talk about George Foreman a little bit if you have a good story or two that you can tell." Kevin Ioli wrote a great article, a eulogy about him. When you heard that he passed, I mean, you're a boxing guy, but do you think more people thought of George Foreman, the boxer, or George Foreman, the grill guy?
That's a great question. There is definitely a generation, and not too much younger than me, that mostly knows him as the grill in their college dorm room. That guy.
Yeah.
And listen, he made a lot more money off that than he ever did from boxing. Although he made plenty in boxing as well. But yeah, his legacy is very layered. Even within boxing, there are two separate George Foreman legacies, which nobody has two divided legacies to the extent that he does. When the news hit, he's not, he wasn't young, 76,
Right.
not old, not young, a fairly normal age for an American man to pass away. But I was kind of shocked by it. There was something about him, not just his former invincibility in the ring, but just there was a quality about him that you just thought this guy was going to live not forever. We're realistic about mortality, but that he was going to make it to 90. He was like one of those guys you expected to be around for about as long as anyone is around. So it was kind of shocking in that way. And of course, nobody had heard anything about him being ill or anything like that. I've started to hear in the last couple days. I think I heard Jim Lampley somewhere saying that he didn't know Foreman was ill at all as of Friday when he died, but that a few days later he found out that he had been struggling with an illness just recently. So it sounds like he had some illness, not like a sudden heart attack type of situation, but we still don't know. Yeah, it was just shocking because of some of the qualities so I last spoke to him just about a year ago. I was writing a story for the 50th anniversary of his fight with Kenny Norton. And I mean, George was a medical marvel. So he's 75 at the time. Like, there was zero mental or speech related effect of his incredibly long boxing career. He was rattling off details from that fight that happened 50 years earlier as if he had just watched it again. Like, he remembered exact punch sequences and was telling them to me on the phone. He was incredibly sharp. And this is a guy who took a lot of punches, had over 80 pro fights. So he was kind of a medical anomaly in that regard. He was doing great a year ago, and so that's also part of why it was a real sideswipe to learn that he had died.
What's his impact on boxing? Like, I think that we so much when people are casual and you say, okay, like name me some of the greatest boxers of all time. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson is going to be brought up into this. Where does Foreman rank in your mind as all-time greats, as impact on the sport? What's the legacy that George Foreman has left with boxing?
He's incredibly high on several different lists. So you want to make a list of the all-time greatest heavyweights. He's an easy top 10 and an arguable top 5. If you want to make a list of the biggest punchers in the history of the sport, again, I think it'd be hard not to put him in the top 10 somewhere there. And then if you wanted to make a list of the biggest crossover stars in the history of the sport, thanks to his second career and everything that he had achieved in his 40s, he's somewhere on the short list there. Maybe you're definitely going to put him behind an Ali or something, but and maybe a Tyson or whatever. But there aren't too many others from the modern age that were bigger stars than George Foreman was. Again, because of that incredible comeback, he could have been, had he never come back, he would have been a guy who was great and feared briefly in his moment, still would have made the Hall of Fame from his first career, still would have been on some top 20-ish all-time heavyweight kind of lists, probably. People would have debated whether once someone finally stood up to him and figured out he collapsed, a little bit of the legacy that Mike Tyson has as a fighter, that he was, great for a brief while, and then when the bully got bullied, he fell apart. That could have been George Foreman's legacy if he'd never come back. But then he had this incredible comeback that in his 40s, everyone thought it was a joke. He gradually convinced people that he at least deserved a shot, got that shot against Evander Holyfield, who was, 14 years younger than him at the time, something like that, proved he belonged in there, even in defeat, hung around a little while longer, and at age 45 won the legitimate lineal heavyweight championship of the world on a knockout of Michael Moore. It's just an unbelievable story.
So as the boxing guy, and this is the last one for me, is he known more for the loss to Ali or the win for, Michael Moore? Because I've seen the Ali fight so many times, and then, in Kevin's article, there was links to both, and I watched the whole fight over again. And then I watched the Moore thing, and the Moore thing it was so fast, and it was like so out of nowhere, and he really didn't look like he was going to do anything before he did that. And he was dominating, Ali, and hitting him and all this other stuff, and then lost. So, for me, if you ask me, and I guess I'm 54, and maybe I'm just, from recollecting it, I remember it more for the loss than the win. But where do you stand with that?
No, I mean, I think the Rumble in the Jungle is maybe the most famous fight in boxing history, right up there with Ali Frazier won would be in that conversation, right, and Louis Schmeling, if you want to go all the way back or whatever. But a fight that you can just say the name of it, the Rumble in the Jungle, and everyone knows what you mean. It's one of the most famous fights that there's ever been. Ali's presence, Michael Moore is kind of a footnote in boxing history, whereas Ali is the greatest. So absolutely, overall, big picture, when you step back, the loss to Ali is the more famous fight. But I suppose when you're writing the obituary of George Foreman, that you're probably going to get to the notion that he became the oldest heavyweight champion or a heavyweight champion 20 years after he lost the title. That's going to be in the first sentence, and then you have to go back to it and explain how he lost the title. So I sort of in the George Foreman story, it's the Michael Moore win that is his great defining moment. But boxing as a whole, the Rumble in the Jungle against Ali is the more famous fight.
It's funny that U.S. audiences for the Rumble in the Jungle saw a fight card in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, where Custy Amato fought on the undercard for that. So on the TV side of that, just to throw back to see how, they didn't even show an undercard over in Africa. They showed it in the United States, and then they went to the Rumble in the Jungle. We'll end it with that. What have we seen, and will we ever see a boxing fight have not just the sport impact, but just the cultural impact that fight had between two great heavyweights, because of what Ali was coming back from, him, not serving in the military and being, 3.5 years away from the ring because of it, and then coming back and fighting in Africa? Where is that fight on the list of greatest fights of all time? Is Rumble in the Jungle number one?
Not on the list of greatest fights, but on the list of most high profile, most famous fights. It's somewhere in that top 3 or so, certainly. Again, along with like an Ali Frazier one at Madison Square Gardens. We'll never see a fight that means that much culturally again, because heavyweight boxing just doesn't mean as much, anywhere near as much as it did during Ali's day. So I mean, here's a sad note to just like give you a sense of where we are as a society. But the closest that we've come recently is Jake Paul against Mike Tyson. I'm sorry to say it, but that's boxing at its most mainstream possible in the 2020s. There are still some real fights that can get somewhat mainstream, but not as big as that one, unfortunately.
Eric, tell folks where they can get your stuff. Good stuff with us today. This was awesome.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Yeah, read me at casinoreports.com, lotterygeeks.com. Our podcast is called Low Rollers. And then if you want to follow my boxing stuff, I write twice a week on boxingscene.com.
We got to get the HBO boxing podcast back or something on those. I know HBO's out of boxing, but we got to get you guys with your boxing podcast. I love your work with boxing. So always been a huge fan. Good stuff, Eric. Thanks for the time.
Phillies Bucks today. 2-gamer.
All right. Go both Pennsylvania teams.
Let's go, PA.
Yes.
He is Eric Raskin joining us here from CasinoReports.com, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Good to get him on the program talking about the passing of George Foreman and also what's going on in the very wild world of the big. He does look like me. People were saying that we could have been twins. That was actually like kind of odd. I was looking at that going like, I see that too. We do have him and I do have kind of a similar look. Raskin's stealing my look these days. Good to get him. I first started talking with him when pre-COVID, we used to do things for Radio Row. When big fights happened in Vegas, they would do massive sellout ballrooms full of media for Radio Row. And I've interviewed probably every major name in boxing today. And Eric used to do an unbelievable podcast for HBO that, he was right there next to me half the time. So I just started talking boxing with him. So I've been talking boxing with Eric for almost 10 years now. So great to hear his take on Foreman. But I think it's a great point about the Foreman grill. I mean, what's the cutoff? 35? Where the Foreman grill before you know George Foreman?
Ask the chat. What do you know George Foreman more for? We'll give him a poll right now. Because it's probably, 35 might be a good number. Might be a little bit younger. I don't
Such
know,
an interesting question.
There's probably people that went to school and that are close to 40 that use the George Foreman grill.
They still sell it today.
Oh, I know.
It's still in Target today. You can buy the Foreman grill today.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that was like
he still has it, he said.
The
you
indoor
still have a Foreman grill. Say it so in the chat.
You go ahead and it would see, there you go. I still have it. You cook chicken. Just remember all the juices used to run out. You used to be like, look at all this fat, leave it. Like it was the best infomercial that I had ever seen.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
I don't know why most infomercials that I would watch, I'm not sure why I don't really pay attention. I paid attention to that one. I bought it off of the infomercial. It was like, oh, okay. And then it was one of those things of like, that's real. It's not like a gimmick. It actually works. And people would use it and then use it in a grill or use it as an indoor grill.
Right.
And you'd be like, oh, shoot, it works. And then everything just went and people just bought it and bought it and bought it. And he made a ton of money. As Eric said, he made more money from the Foreman grill than he did from his boxing career. That's amazing. Why
those guys weren't fighting for money, like money then.
Right.
Wide world of sports. I mean, he won a gold medal. Crazy.
You had 9 George Foreman grills. Or on the sons he had, the 9 George Foreman sons. That's right. He named himself. Right. Yeah, he named them all George. All his kids are named after himself. George the 8th, George the 9th. Yeah. It's a good point. All right. So it's opening day. We're less than an hour away from 3 big, interesting games, including your Pirates. Let's start with Skeens. Skeens against Alcantara. Like, hello, out of the gate.
That's a good game.
Skeens favored at minus 145. Total of 6.5.
Yep.
What are you expecting out of Sandy? He gonna look like Sandy, or is he going to be needing a couple starts to get back to it?
Pirates may be offensively challenged unless somebody runs into one today. I mean, that game, despite it being 6.5, could go 3-2, 4-2. It actually could go under.
Everyone's asking about Murphy's. No,
guys,
we go. As we start, guys, Murphy is yes, run in the first inning. Murphy is no run in the first inning. First 5 means 5 full innings. Okay. So as we start talking about first 5 bets and Murphy and all that stuff, that's what we mean when we say Murphy and Murphy.
Right.
Oh, Mike Parsons, did he play the Murphy?
Oh, wow.
All right, it's a good bet. What's
the price?
Got to be heavy, right? Got to be 160, 170. Got to be.
Is that the no?
Let me see
Guys, type it in the chat.
I can tell you what.
Doing 100 things here.
I can tell you
Type
what.
it in the chat what the Nerfy is.
Here
No
is the
run
price.
first inning.
Here's Circus price. I put that up. I didn't actually put it on the screen, but that's Circus price. Let's see what they.
So for Pittsburgh is minus 185. Okay. And look at the rest of the market. All right. So nobody's discovering the atom there, boys. All right. That's the book knows you're coming. Going right in. Lay 185 on no run in the first inning.
on opening day. On top of that, like, hey, by the way, like out of the gate.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Minus 210 at Bet365. Thank you, Mason.
Yeah. Mike said he bet a lot of juice. He got 180. He said on it. Oh
right.
God. Yeah. Look. Oh my. Wait, Linus. What did you do? He parlayed Nerfy. No run in the second inning and no run in the third inning.
Is that what that means?
Hey, Addison, I need you to come up with what is NRSI. So the Nerfy is the first inning. What's the Nursey? Is that where we're going to run with this?
Jeez.
Nursey? And Nerty? A Nerty?
So he did the first 3 innings. Tied after the second inning is plus 122.
Wait,
see,
so
this is what happens. You wait all this time for baseball. And then you go crazy the first week.
Why wouldn't you fire just on the under for the first 3? Why would you parlay all that together? Isn't that the same thing as a
Eric? Is my new Nerfies are first 3 inning bets, targeting away teams with great pitchers on the mound, 2 innings to score, 1 inning of shutout pitching. Okay. Again, you're not the first person to think of this, but this is good. It shortens the baseball game.
Yes.
For for the kids, the young under 30s, like everything a little shorter. And
I'm gonna bring this
quick in and out. You know what I'm saying?
I need to do some more research on this, but somebody presented me with a betting trend yesterday that I need to double check and make sure this is accurate and this is something we can give out. But it hit last year at one of the more ridiculous. It was 104-1.
104 wins and 1 loss
in baseball.
Okay.
So I got to do a little more research on this to make sure that, but supposedly it was up 65 units last year in this.
Okay.
It's a total bases trend as to when to target a hitter for their over and their total bases.
Okay.
But last year when someone fit into this category, the bet went 104-1.
So Austin Wells just hit a home run for the Yankees. Is that officially the first home run of the season?
I would say so. It's the first game of the day, no?
Yeah.
So there you go.
I would think. Okay.
Cool.
So we're on the board. Yankees won.
Really? Oh, I mean,
it's nothing. No one likes short things going in and out fast in baseball. See?
Who boy? Even Addison might wind up betting. He said he might wind up betting baseball if I can find him a trend that's 104-1. I would agree.
Right.
So I got to do a little more research on that, and then I'll pass it along here on the show once we get that in there. So all right. So Skeens today. You like
season did start in Tokyo. You're right, like show, but this is
whatever. This is opening day. They're calling it domestic opening day. When I hear that, it just pisses me off. I'm like, what do you? Like, no, this is opening day.
Somebody really says that?
Yes, that's what they're calling it. It's domestic opening day.
I don't know what that means.
It's ridiculous. Skeens, Alcantara. Who wins?
Well, I hope the Pirates win. What do you mean? Pirates better win.
They better win. Ooh.
Better win. I mean, he's got 30 starts. They better win 22 of his starts. I got all my Pirate hats out. So we got different Pirate.
Oh, I like that one. That one's nice. That's the batting practice hat.
Yeah.
I got the Red Sox version of that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that was from you, actually. From you and Jess.
Yeah.
Red Sox, speaking of them, Crochet. Red Sox are favored. Red Sox are favored on opening day.
Oh, that was a quick freeze. Good.
Sox are favored. Excuse me? Red Sox are favored.
By that?
I'm just, anytime they're going to be favored, I'm going to be surprised. It's Red Sox. I mean, they're favored. On the road on opening day with Garrett Crochet on the mound. Against their former ace in Nathan Eovaldi.
Right. I don't disagree with the line.
Okay.
I mean, you could make it minus 115, but you take the bet on the Red Sox. So
which is higher. He's at 125.
That's good. What's the plus on that, Butchie?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit different. I don't know. Some guys might give me the Rangers and the under.
Sox fans are not going to accept this team really, right now. They're still
Why?
going to be, because I think there's so much hype there. I mean, this is where the puritanism comes in. Like everyone gets so excited, then they actually watch the games and the negativity kicks in. You basically say, you don't believe it. You're like, all right, now prove it. So
Right.
Crochet's looking for a big payday, like a big payday. So, he could go out there. If he stays healthy, the best, this is a bet you can make probably still right now at FanDuel. Over 30 home runs for Alex Bregman, parlayed with over 200 strikeouts for Garrett Crochet. 5-1. 5-1. It's obviously the home runs for Bregman that's going to beat you. If Crochet stays healthy, he threw 209. He had 209 strikeouts last year, and he had a governor on him. He basically wasn't allowed to pitch deep into games. The Red Sox are not going to have that same governor on him. They're going to let him go. So you would think if he stays healthy, he's going to get to 200 strikeouts. So I'm not worried about that. I am worried about the 30 home runs because he hit 24 last year for Alex Bregman.
Right.
Can he get to 30? How many more home runs has he hit playing half his games at Fenway is going to be the question.
Jeez. Rincon just came in the chat, by the way, and said Austin Wells is the first leadoff home run for a catcher on opening day.
Ever?
I'm assuming he left that part out, but
That was his first at bat. It was the first at bat of the season? And he went deep?
bottom of the first, yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and he's catcher leading off. So that's pretty different.
Red Sox are back, Mikey. I'm with you. Let's roll.
Hold on.
Let's go.
Everyone on the morning shows today had the Red Sox in the World Series against the Dodgers.
Great. Love it.
Oh,
fail.
Boy.
F.
There we
fail.
go. Every one of them.
F.
That was the team.
Yeah. Tank.
And I was like, wow.
Bet
Okay.
the under. I'm not touching the Red Sox.
Thanks for watching the show. Those must have all been watching the show. That's good. Yeah, we'll see. I think
I said next year.
Game goes under.
For the record, okay? I said Red Sox next year in the World Series. I didn't say this year. I said next year. We marked that down. We highlighted that. I said World Series next year.
Wait,
not this year.
Is this true? Jeff Ewing is in the chat. And he said he used to coach Austin, 11 and 12 years old. How cool is that?
That's really neat.
That's fantastic, Jeff.
See a guy go deep on opening day.
Coach a kid that's in the big leagues. I mean, that's like, I know guys that have made it, but like I met them after. I mean, I was watching Stott on his way up and,
right,
at UNLV and whatever. But like a lot of the kids that the girls played with, not with, but they were at the cages all the time. They're in
Vegas,
college.
too.
Yeah, in Vegas. So like they're in college now.
No, I mean, he caught Austin here.
He coached Austin
in Vegas.
11 and 12 years old. Why? Austin Wells is from Vegas? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was there. He's got another one, Drew Thorpe.
Ace of the White Sox. How about that, Jeff? That's fantastic.
Very cool. Yeah, it's always fun to see guys you've either pitched against, faced, played with, played against, coached with, coached against. He went to Gorman. Interesting.
I did not know that either. Wow. I mean, this place is becoming a factory, like
for baseball,
just producing kids for baseball.
Yeah.
Quick, like the track is fast. They're getting there young.
Well, every kid now, it's the minors are. If you're a talented player, you're not spending much time in the minors. They've basically determined that you don't have to. Like the days of having a kid come up at 24. Not if you're going to make the big leagues, you're making the big leagues in your early 20s. They're not gonna wait around much anymore. In particular, because of the signing bonuses, how much money they're committing to these kids out of the gate. They got to get a turn on their investment fast and get them up.
Yeah, but especially, I mean, some of them are coming from college too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right in, like Skeens
said he went to college, and you get the years that you would have gotten in the minors in college, and now you're getting paid. Might be a better deal.
Fair. The other game I want to look at before in the 4:00 Eastern time window is Braves Padres. Chris Sale back, slight favorite. King going for the Padres today.
Interesting game. I was hoping you said Cleveland and Kansas City.
They scratched the starting pitcher. They changed pitchers out.
The first day of the season?
Sick. Illness.
Oh.
So that's why. That's why I didn't put it on there.
Pitching Lively instead of who was it before? I don't know what it was, but it
I'm
says
not sure,
right
but
now.
I remember it was
Now
a
he's
change.
minus 170.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't put it on there, because it was they did a last second pitching change and said, okay, we're not talking about that game. Scratch that. Put a line through that game. Moving on, because it is a good game. I would agree. Yeah, it was supposed to have been BB. I think
Yeah, it
BB
was
supposed
minus 130 or 135. Oh, BB got food poisoning. Food
Yeah.
poisoning is nothing to mention. Nothing
Nothing
to mess with. Yeah, that's
So-
still good.
See you later.
Right. So Sale and King under, right? That's an under. 7.
Okay.
There's 2 6.5s.
So that's the theory, right? Is that
7.
pitchers are going to be far ahead of hitters for the first couple of days?
Yes and no. Some of the games I would think you might get a couple overs, but yeah, normally there's not really weather issues in too many places today, is there?
No.
And the Tigers are playing the Dodgers out later.
Baseball learned, start playing baseball in the South.
You would think so.
Look, if you're going to play baseball, play in the South.
You would
Don't
try.
play. Because right now, up here, it would be freezing cold. It's 38 degrees, 40 degrees here today.
Is it
would
really?
suck. Yeah, it would suck to play baseball in New England today. It would not be fun. Give them 2 weeks, it'll be fine. But that's why the Red Sox are in Texas.
Twins Cardinals is delayed in St. Louis, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Belly homer prop, Skeens over 6.5, Sale over 4.5 Ks. Not bad, Chris Warren. Don't hate it. I think the homer prop might get you, but first day homer, first game homer is tough. I just think betting baseball opening day, I love watching it. It's a holiday for me. I love it. I got up this morning. I was so excited. I was like, this is awesome. And then I looked at the start times. I was like, I thought I could watch the Red Sox before we started the show.
Right.
No, they play at 4:00 today. So I was like, fine. But I love the fact that almost every team is playing. 2 teams are not. Almost the whole league is playing. But then we just get baseball being back. But I can't bring myself to bet it. I'm watching all these content creators fire on all these games. I'm like, how do you guys know anything? You're going off of stats that are old. It's last year's stats. You don't know what guys look like this year.
They do that every day.
I know, but I got to watch and learn
They do
first.
that every day in basketball. They were citing back stats from
But that's fine.
3 months ago. I mean, it's all the same.
I'm okay with that. It's in the same season. Like day 1, game 1 of 162 to come in and fire on a nerfy or go ahead and fire on an under.
It's guesswork.
It's like it is guesswork, but it's more guesswork than ever before. Like to me, it's like this is I can't bet this. I mean, even Dodgers. We'll talk about the Dodgers game later, but the Dodgers game is a really good game. Blake Snell is pitching in this game. I mean, it's a good game with the Dodgers, but I can't bet the Dodgers. Even run line Dodgers. Just bet it. I don't know. No, I can't just bet it, Butchie. I'm not just betting it for the hell of it. No, I want to have some idea. I feel good about making the play versus crossing my fingers and closing my eyes.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds a lot of the same to me that every day sounds. Well,
it's different because you approach it from a different angle, though. You see things and hear things through a different lens.
It's fine, but I anything we talk about with the March Madness, the games tonight, it sounds very similar.
I disagree with that entirely.
We're talking about.
I know the players. I know the strategy. I know the path.
Understand, but they're talking about the tournament run. I heard somebody say something about this morning. The tournament run so far for this team, and I'm like, the tournament run. They played 2 games. What are you talking about? So just generalizations are being made, and then betting decisions are being made. I think everybody just needs to caution that. I agree. I mean, first month is observation month. Just try to figure out the lines, watch the totals. I mean, I talked to somebody yesterday about this replay rule, and they were 80% successful when a player challenged the replay on the balls and strikes.
In spring training. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year.
They're going to be, what do you mean they're not using it now?
It was spring training only.
Oh, they should be using it tomorrow.
Yeah, but they can't because they can't put it in. They had to use it for this year, test it, and if it worked, they'd put it into play in 2026. I saw Carl Ravitch do a big thing today on MLB Network about how it's going to be part of baseball next year.
Carl did MLB Network?
No, sorry. Who was the host? No, it was the other guy. Who's the former ESPN guy that hosts? Brian Kenny.
Kenny. Okay.
Brian Kenny did a whole thing on it today on what it will look like next year when that becomes a reality.
It should be used.
Yeah,
Those
it's
guys are
coming.
so good at it.
Yeah, baseball, it's quick too. He was talking to the Washington Post columnist, Will
Verducci?
Nope, the guy who does political commentary as well, but he's a guy with
Oh,
glasses,
yeah.
sandy hair guy, glasses.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm forgetting his name, but he was asked about it, and he said he went to spring training in Arizona, and he said the thing he came away with, he asked fans, did they like it, and the fans said, yeah, because it's fast. It doesn't delay the game. It's very quick. It comes
I've
through.
been using it here in Vegas for years. It's been great. I love it. I don't like it. I love it. I think baseball guys will like it a lot.
Yeah.
And
so next year,
you
2026,
give the players the freedom to do it. They know to strike something. When a catcher challenges, I mean, you can guarantee that the umpire almost missed it. I mean, like 95% of the time. When a catcher does this,
right?
Yep, that was whether it was a ball, a strike, a ball, whatever the catcher says it's going to be. It's going to be. I think that's going to help baseball, and because it's fast.
Yep.
But it's going to affect the totals. Playing in minor league ballparks are going to affect the totals.
Like, how do you bet Tampa tomorrow? Like, how do you do that? They don't play today.
That I don't know.
How do you bet Tampa tomorrow? Like, they're at home.
I really, really don't know.
It's impossible.
Oakland's playing on the road now. They're home next week, but
yeah,
I think you're really going to have
not
to
Oakland, by the way. Can't call them Oakland.
I know, but it still says Oakland, and the thing is still the A's, whatever.
Not Oakland, Sacramento. They're actually nothing on the board. They're the Athletics. There's no.
Tampa's playing 24 of their first 35 games at home to play in April, so they avoid the rainy season.
Oh, okay.
So Tampa may be a play on
early
at home early,
okay.
and then a complete fade in the summer when they're on a 17-day road trip.
They're dead. They're just dead. It's not their fault, but they're just dead. I mean, it's just they're not going to compete. It's really tough to see with that. What happened last night? Well, LeBron James had a tip in with 0.1 seconds to go to snap a 3-game losing streak for the Lakers. LeBron actually had his streak of 10 points or more, Dave, in jeopardy. 1,237 straight games for LeBron to score 10 points or more. He had to score 10 of his 13 points in the fourth quarter to extend that. That was not a good game for LeBron James yesterday. So maybe too much time on McAfee. Maybe he was talking to Pat for too long.
I don't know. Somehow they won.
Tip in.
The Pacers
choked that big time. Oh,
yeah. I don't know what to make of it. I still not sure what the Lakers are doing.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers are playing tonight in Chicago. There's nobody playing better basketball in the NBA than the Bulls. So the Lakers are favored. I think the Bulls is a play tonight. We'll see.
Last night, while we're on the plane flying here, our guy got it. Ali Farouk-Manesh,
right?
The new head coach of Colorado State. Niko Medved goes to Minnesota. We had talked about it on the show. Last summer, they elevated Ali to associate head coach. And I had said, well, if you're going to make somebody the associate head coach, normally that means he's going to be the head coach if Niko leaves. Well, he's young. He's 37. We were asking how old he was.
Yep.
Ali's 37 years old. Head basketball coach of Colorado State. How about that?
Pretty awesome.
Really cool.
Pretty awesome. And a good dude. I mean, multiple times on the show. Regular guy, all them kids.
4 of them. Did you see the video that he put out today?
I did.
He said, it's about time you guys learned my name. I was like, that's awesome. Learn the family name.
And then he said something about, he needed to know that they were putting back the long shorts. Was another one of his social media things. Ollie's got the social media figured out.
Yeah.
And he's won the crowd. He's got it, whatever it is. Now I hope he wins.
So
I really, really, because now that I feel like we know him, like know him, but I feel like I know him. It's gut wrenching to see those losses. It just sucks.
I mean, look, we got brigade coaches now. We got Steve Lutz at Oklahoma State. We have Greg McDermott at Creighton. We've got Ali Farouk-Manesh at Colorado State. We've got TJ Otzelberger, who is at Iowa State. We got 4 guys who've all made appearances on BVB, who are all now head coaches. Colorado State's not Power 4, but are big college basketball schools.
Yeah.
So we're getting some cachet in the dance coming up with players and whatnot. Creighton got the number one center from Iowa to transfer to Creighton yesterday. So Coach Mack had a hell of a day yesterday, getting a 6'10" kid that was the number one target for the Jays. So
it's literally free agency.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, it is. There is no rules. There's no weight. There's no calendar. There's no get this kid a bag. Talk to his agent. Whatever. Talk to you and get it done and get him here. Like just get him in.
Yeah, get it done quick. Yeah, I graduated from the high school with his wife. That's right.
That's
Very
right.
Cool.
Yes,
he's an Iowa guy. It's great. I'm so happy for Ali. I was texting with him right after I heard the Nico news, and I was like, "You don't have to respond to me, but please tell me they're giving you the job." I was like, "Please tell me that you're getting this because you paid your dues." And as I said, once you get that associate head coaching position, normally that means you're the coach in waiting. So him and his family don't have to relocate, and let's see how many years he gets in Colorado State. But hopefully they'll give him a couple to at least prove himself. First-time head coach. And it's a big job. That's a big job for a guy at his age coming in. So there's a high standard for CSU, but he has a great relationship with the players. And you heard him talk about the differences between coaching now and coaching then. He's very well accustomed and prepared to get going in the NAL world. So congratulations to him. All right. It's opening day, like we mentioned. I want to throw 5 questions at you for the upcoming baseball season.
Quick update. Volpe hit a bomb. 2-0 Yankees.
Okay. Who's pitching? That's 2 solo shots?
Or Peralta for Milwaukee. Yeah, 2 solo shots.
Ouch. Okay. So that's good for the Yankees. Hitting home runs early on opening day.
Right.
So here are 5 questions that I have for Major League Baseball, and I want to get your opinion. When will it be time to bet against the Dodgers to win the World Series? Because at some point, we have to all acknowledge that there's going to be an opportunity to bet against the Dodgers because if they get super hot and the numbers get to be so crazy, when do we bet against LA?
What do you mean? Like take another team?
Yeah. Bet either the field or bet another team. There's not going to be much value in the Dodgers all season long.
No. I mean, last year they were never above 3-1. And I mean, they're plus 240.
It might be worse this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to go any higher. Like one person could get hurt.
Roger Long never.
I mean, I don't think there is one. Yeah. Bet them against them on an individual basis. But when there's a bet available on FanDuel. I don't know if it's still available right now, but will they be shut out all season? Like
every team's got that though.
Yeah, but the Dodgers is legit, maybe not. Like everybody's going to get shut out, but my God.
Everybody at some point, some getaway day Sunday where,
maybe if Tawny gets hurt. I don't know. I don't think there is a time. There probably won't be a time.
These are questions, mind you. So when will it? I don't know. I've done it yet. At some point there will. When will Ohtani pitch? Because when he does, according to MLB, I was listening this morning. The reason why this question came up, they think he's going to make 15 to 20 starts.
I know. That's what they're pushing.
15 to 20 starts. I was wait a minute. Hold on a second. What? 20 starts? That was a number that shocked me. That seems amazingly high.
Well, I mean, that's June 1st. Get him ready. April, May, throw off a mound and regular bullpens, and then put him in. I don't know. I don't know why he would pitch. I really don't. They got enough pitching. Maybe if you want to let him pitch or be a closer, they don't even need him to do that. I just rather him hit. But yeah, I read 15 to 20. When will he pitch? I think June 1st.
June 1st for
Memorial
Ohtani.
Day weekend, somewhere around there.
Talk about bringing in a bazooka. My God. Number 3, will Paul Skeens win the Cy Young after winning the Rookie of the Year?
Probably not.
Why not? He's the odds-on favorite.
Because he's the odds-on favorite, 1. But 2, he has to be so dominant. If the Pirates don't win like 81 games, to be on a below 500 team, he has to be the lowest ERA, the most strikeouts, a ridiculous whip, everything. Like it has to be so dominant. Somebody just hit a home run for the Orioles. Wow. All right, 1-0.
Oh, Fish Killer. I'm sorry. I sorry. I don't know. Everyone's on the Red Sox over the Dodgers.
There you go. I mean, that's a good price. I
49
think
to
if you
1?
can pick the American League winner and you put it with the Dodgers and those prices, like if you get to the World Series, you're going to have a gigantic hedge opportunity.
Yeah, I think the
Rush
Rangers.
run. Okay.
I think if I'm picking American League teams to be in the World Series, it's the Rangers.
Okay.
That's my pick. Rangers, Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, King of Cars, he said he can have a 2.35 ERA this year and it will look bad. I mean, the expectations are now the favorite.
Wow, you think if he had a
I hope he does. It'd be awesome.
2.3 ERA
games. He win 20. Does he win 20 games if he
well,
has?
no, because your bullpen's. I don't care about wins because your bullpen's going to blow games like they did last year for him. So I don't care about his win total. I care about his ERA. I care about his WHIP, and I care about his strikeouts.
Well, as
and
long
if he
as they
does
vote that doesn't matter. And he can.
Well,
be
they did it
500.
before, but they have before. I mean, remember we've seen DeGrom win the Cy Young with an under 500 record when he was with the Mets. So you can do that. I mean, you can have.
ERA was sub-2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to be crazy. I mean, it was like sub 1.7. I think it was like a 1.6 ERA that year. He was incredible.
Yeah,
it's unhittable. You got to be unhittable. You have to be, the best pitcher by far in the National League. But if Paul Skeens is going to throw 6 pitches like it's being talked about right now, and 5 of them go 100 miles an hour, good luck. You are going to touch them.
It's going to be very hard.
But to go from NL Rookie of the Year to number 1 pick into Rookie of the Year into Cy Young has never been done before.
Right.
That's the greatest 3-year run in the history of to start a career in baseball. Like that would be
very,
unbelievable.
very tough, yeah.
So that's my question. Can he do it? Number 4, will Devers accept being the full-time DH? Is that a ticket?
He will?
I don't know. I think it really comes down to how he hits. Because if he hits and he's hitting 35 bombs and he's batting 310 and everything's golden, it's all great. If he's batting 238 with 15 home runs and 65 RBIs, the easiest answer for him when he's asked what's wrong, he's going to say, I'm not playing in the field. This is odd to me. I don't feel comfortable. It's the easiest excuse card he's got to throw if things don't go well with him at the plate. That's my fear.
It's a hard thing to do.
To switch?
To just hit.
David Ortiz said it took a big, like a weight off his chest because he had to work out in the field all the time. So all he did was take the time he spent taking ground balls,
right,
and went into the cage.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you do with the free time. Like, do you use that free time for the benefit, or are you just, remember, this is a man baby. I mean, Devers is a kid. He's a big little kid. So there is a question.
As long as you don't mind it. I mean, mentally, you have to really pay attention to the game.
Yeah.
And you have to do things in between innings to just keep your head in the game, go take hacks in the cage, whatever. I think once you get in that mindset, he's going to be fine. But some guys just can't DH. It will be interesting. Roger Long, senior member of the Brigade, said Devers seems like a whiner.
He was until Ortiz and company got a hold of him. And since then, he has been go team. Since he got the lecture from the team of like, we're paying you a lot of money. You're going to do whatever we tell you to do. Since that happened, Devers has been pretty quiet, but I think it has the potential to be a really big distraction. If Boston gets off to like a 20-10 start and they're rolling, no problems. If it's 10-20, big issue. Big problem. And I think this will be a very big concern about him DHing the whole year.
The guy seems like he'd rather hit than play the field.
Correct.
So
he's a much better hitter than fielder.
Right. That's just
much better at it.
He ain't got to worry about throwing it over the first baseman's head or, getting that backhand play and all that other stuff. There's so many things to think about a third, especially.
And
now he can just hit.
Right. And his fielding is part of the problem for him is just fielding ground balls. Like his range is really, and he's being replaced by the reigning Gold Glove winner in Alex Bregman. So it's difficult to say he should play over Bregman at third base. So having him be DH I like it. It's David Ortiz 2.0. Let's go. Let's get it's a left-handed power bat who can focus just on peppering the wall. And that's it. Score a bunch of runs. because the Red Sox are going to need help offensively. Defensively, they should be fine. Trevor Story gets hurt. Okay. Bigger, kind of a bigger problem. And then finally, can Bobby Witt Jr. win the MVP at 24 years of age?
Wouldn't JC from KC enjoy that? And all Kansas City fans. He's the odds-on favorite right now, right?
One of, depends on the book, but yes,
Yeah.
he's in the conversation. It's at 24 years of age.
Yes, it would be awesome. I don't know.
He's going to have a lot of competition. There's going to be a lot of guys. I think they could have big bounce back years.
Right.
I mean, I think you got to be looking at players like Corey Seager, and you got to look at players, obviously taking a look at, the Yankees and whether or not Judge if he's healthy, Judge still has the odd, and I think the inside track, which is with the home runs. Witt's going to need to score, hit over 300, and probably hit 25 bombs.
The Bobby baseball portion of the show, just for you, JC from KC, right there.
But he is one of the most exciting players in baseball. I mean,
without a doubt.
It's just he's outstanding. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yes.
If you haven't seen him, he is worth the price of admission. He's worth the time to sit and watch Royal games this year because he is so good in so many different aspects. There is no protection. I'll give you that. There is no protection,
Right.
which is why he may win the MVP. Because if he does have a big game, a big season with nobody around him, if he carries that team, that's the definition of value to me. He would be most valuable.
Do the Royals have to make the playoffs for him to win it?
Not make it, but they got to be right there. Like they can't be. I think the days of Mike Trout being on a 65, 70 win baseball team and winning the MVP are over. I don't think that'll happen again.
No.
So I think he does need to be in competition, not in the playoffs, but you can't be, an 80, 90 win 80, 90 loss baseball team.
Right.
And be in the MVP conversation.
Huh. Jeez, are we tied with this vote?
No way. Are you really right now?
There's 790 votes, and we're dead even, 50% apiece.
How about
1
that?
hour and 42 minutes left. Man, that'd be something if they try to pull
HBK
something.
was in the chat earlier.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. While we were talking to Eric.
At HBK Bets is the Twitter handle where the poll is. It's literally 50%, 50%, 790 votes. So literally every vote matters. Wow. Thanks, HBK. Right there in the chat. Go vote, Consig. I already did. You guys got to vote.
Yeah.
This would be awesome. We get to the Final Four. There's people that are going, how did a 16 seed even get this far? That's what I'm reading in the chats,
Right.
in HBK's comments and stuff. Like they don't know. They just see the 16 seed, SB Consigliere. Yeah. We need to create some burners. Don't start that. I don't know. LFG Jack Hoff, let's go. Come on.
So we'll see. All right. So our Survivor contest is almost, you guys got to get into it like in the next 15, 20 minutes. Okay. So you got to go into splashsports.com/BVB. Here are some advice. Yahoo Sports put out some stats for the Final Four. As if you're going to reverse engineer your pick, if you haven't made your pick yet for tonight, here's how you can reverse engineer it. Only once.
3 more hours to get there because it's not until
those 4:00 Eastern, according to the website, it says 4 Eastern deadline.
Pacific.
Oh, Pacific. Good. Sorry.
The first game is at 7 Eastern, so you have
you have 3 hours. Good. Okay, so this will help you as you go for your pick. You can reverse engineer this. Only once since 2008 have all 4 number 1 seeds made the Final Four. Doesn't happen this year.
That's a long time. No, I don't think it does. You think all 4 get there?
It's got a possibility. Yeah, I do think it's a real. I don't think Duke and Florida lose today. Again, I think Auburn's the weakest, but I think Auburn's got a decent draw now to get there. So, I mean, I don't see Houston losing. Do you?
No, not the first game.
So I think Houston gets there. I think Duke gets there. I think Florida gets there. So really, it's Auburn is the only one that could kind of screw that up. But I think there's a real potential for all 4 number 1 seeds to be in San Antonio for the Final Four.
If you guys got to pick one, type it in the chat. Which number 1 seed doesn't get there? If I had to pick one right now, I actually think it'd be Florida.
They would lose?
Yeah.
2? Not Maryland. You don't think they lose tonight, do you?
I don't think so, but I mean, there's an outside shot. But the next game, they get the winner of Arkansas, Texas Tech,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
It's
I mean, I
legit.
guess
I mean,
Tech.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
Arkansas.
talked about
If
it.
they win today.
Arkansas's
If Arkansas
bad,
wins
they
today,
see it, and Texas Tech is
I don't think Texas
nasty
Tech beats Florida.
defensively.
I don't think. I think
I don't know.
they match up pretty well with them. So
Yeah.
But I think Florida facing Arkansas, you have SEC rivals, which takes us to the next question. Only once since the 64 team expansion for the tournament have we seen a Final Four all from one conference. Any shot?
Was that the Big East?
85 was the Big East. Yeah.
Wait, it was the Big East, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 1985.
Who was that? Was that Syracuse?
Hold on.
Syracuse, Georgetown.
I'll tell you the Final Four.
St. John's.
It was the Final Four. That Final Four all from one team. 85 Big East. Doesn't say which teams, but it was 85 for the Big East.
Ciaramello, if you're watching the show, get on that.
7 of
CBW,
16
one of you.
are from the SEC. Are we getting an all SEC? This will make Big Ten fans' head explode. If they have to sit there with a Final Four all from one conference. Duke is really the only one that can really screw this up. I mean,
Right.
Duke and Houston are the ones you got to be pulling for to make that not happen.
I don't think it happens.
I don't either. But because I think Duke and Houston both are going to be there.
Right.
So I think you're only going to get
CBW said St. John's, Georgetown, and Nova were the 3 Big East teams. I don't know who was in 1984.
Who's the fourth? There's like 3 teams there. Who's the fourth? I need one more. It's 4 teams. 1985. They're all out of the Big East.
It up, yeah.
And then finally, 5 of the top 6 defensive teams are left in the 16 at the moment. Only St. John's is a top 6 team defensively that did not make the Sweet 16. Michigan State, Maryland, Duke, Houston, Tennessee. Defense still wins championships. So if you're looking at this, you're going to go Florida. Auburn.
Do one of those teams win it?
Well, Tennessee would be the one. Tennessee would take out Houston.
Right.
So they would be, one of those 2 teams.
Is that a
would
metric to measure the overall champion? Do you pick one of those teams to win it?
Look, ever since over the last 25 years, it's been 94%. They've been top 30 on offense and top 20 on defense on KenPom. So that's a metric I have used. Yes. So, but Florida factors into that. So, because they're top 30 defensively, this is top 6 on defense. Only St. John's, who choked away that game, not left.
So if Houston beats Tennessee and Duke wins both games, it's Duke and Houston on that side of the bracket. The winner of that game wins the national championship.
Probably so. Yep, probably so. Unless Florida has an incredible shooting game, which could happen.
Right.
But I'm not down on Florida, but I have a bet on Florida at 20-1. I am looking to hedge out of it soon, like next round probably.
Oh,
I'll start hedging out of it because I do think there's going to be a potential. Arkansas over Florida is really is possible. I should get a decent price if it's Arkansas versus Florida. So take Arkansas plus, $2, $3 on the money line.
I'll have the basketball on, but I'll have the baseball on the sound.
Which game?
Well, no, actually, I'll watch the Cubs in Arizona later. That's the late game tonight.
No, late game is the Dodgers.
No, that one starts at 4:00 our time.
Is it really?
Eastern, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a late game.
Shadows under. That's going to be a nightmare. Skubal and Snell.
Yeah.
At a 4:00 Pacific start. And if you've been to
6.5.
Dodger Stadium, which I've been in every year for the last 3 years, those dusk starts, like that first, as soon as it starts to drop, the pitcher's in the shadow. You can't see squadouche. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, sorry. That's 7:00 my time. Okay, that's
Yeah.
why. 7:10 Eastern.
4 o'clock. So
It's just weird. It's weird because my odd screen changed his time to what time
Right.
zone I'm in.
Correct.
So I'm
Yes.
used to looking
You
at this in,
remember that. Right.
in
Yes.
Pacific time. I'm
Right.
looking at this on Eastern time now, going, wait a minute,
Yeah.
that's a night game. You're like, no, it's not.
No.
It's a day game. I'm like, wait,
Day
it's a night game for me. It's a day game for you. Okay,
Right.
right. Forgot. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
that game.
I'll have that on first. Like the early basketball games, it's not as for me. You know, I want to watch BYU.
Bama BYU.
That one's
Really?
gonna be fun. That one's going over.
That. Oh my, really? Hold on.
Did you see the total?
Let's talk about it. You're going over 175.5.
I liked 172.
Yeah, it was bet over.
A little light, but I said you should have probably made this game 178.5 or 180.
Holy crap.
Yeah. They're
Holy
just
crap.
going to keep shooting. How many times did we watch Alabama this year? You know, or you're watching them wherever you're at going, they don't stop doing what they're doing even when they're missing.
So BYU's pace of play is 178. Alabama's first. So we know about the way Bama plays. This is going to be an up-tempo, back and forth, crazy game. But for this game to go over 175, I mean, 175 is such a crazy number. I mean, I'm inclined to say bet under, but like, holy crap, this is a crazy total. Like this is
any sort of fast start.
Yeah, it's gonna rocket.
It'll go. It won't move as much as if you go under and it starts slow.
Okay.
Right? Because this has gone up. So game tips, there's miss, whatever, and, you know, and it starts slow. This will drop to like 166 quick.
I love the chat. I'm on the over.
Ooh.
I'm on the under.
I think the under's coming. That's why sports betting is so much fun.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, BYU is 21-14 to the over. Alabama is 19-15-1. But away from home, Alabama's been an over machine. They're 13-7. BYU is 12-6 on the road. Bama at home was a team that went under a lot. In the SEC tournament, it was 2-2 for Alabama. Against Kentucky, it went under. That was 178.5, went under by 9.5 points. Against Florida, it was 180, it went over by 6. In the NCAA tournament against Robert Morris, it was 168.5. That game went over by 2.5. And against St. Mary's in the last game, it was 149.5, and it went under by 3.5.
And that was St. Mary's because they couldn't make a shot.
And both games for BYU, VCU and Wisconsin, both have gone over. The last game against Wisconsin was 155.5. That was one of the worst lines of the entire first two rounds, over by 24.5 points.
Yeah.
Flew over.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to like play it in game, the plan, if you start with the under pregame price, you need it to start slow.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to 166 pretty quickly. You get a nice 10-point middle right off the bat. Or if you think it's going to start fast, you go over to 175.5 or whatever, and it gets to 182, 184 and go under. So, I mean, there you go. That's Parsons is doing it that way, took the under. I think you got to have a plan.
I mean, 85-80, it's 165.
Yeah.
It's crazy to look at 85-80 is a really high scoring college basketball game, and that's under by 10 points.
Yeah.
That's how many points we're talking about here. It's a really high number, man. That is, oh boy, 175.5. I would tend to lean towards the under, but I like BYU. I think they win the game outright. Maryland, Florida, 6.5 point number. I think the number is right. Total at 157.5. That seems high too.
So I was on Omar Space last night listening a little bit. Nadu got on and gave this stat. There's 3 teams in the country that haven't lost a game by more than 6 points. Duke, Houston, and blank.
Maryland.
I
mean, they're top 20 defensive. I mean, their metrics, if you want to talk about the KenPom 20, top 20 offense, top 30 defense metric, Maryland fits. They fit it all year. It's Kevin Willard. No thanks.
Did I see right? He's leaving for Villanova. Did you see that news that was announced today?
Hold on. There's no way.
Is that fact? Somebody check that
Hold on.
stat or in it.
I'm looking
chat.
right now. It's being commented. He didn't, according to Reddit, he didn't show up for his team dinner yesterday.
The team knows.
The
is
team
what I
knows.
saw. Is it he told the team
So
that he's going to Villanova at the end of this run.
the headline I'm looking at that was updated yesterday at 2:00. Everything you need to know about the week-long Kevin Willard Maryland basketball Villanova saga. A week has passed since Kevin Willard's NCAA tournament press conference and reports of Villanova's interest in Maryland's coach combined with this a storm of speculation. It may be him leveraging Maryland to get more money.
Jeez.
It might be all about dollars. It might be all about NIL, trying to get more information on this.
Unbelievable.
So according to the article, there's no doubt Willard is Villanova's top choice.
Wow.
So they're trying to get him, but there is no AD at Maryland.
Oh,
So that I guess is part of the
that's a
problem.
little bit of a problem.
The leadership there.
It's hard to take the coaching job without an AD.
Yeah.
Because that's your boss.
Oh, look, Ross, 5'3", Boston University. Don't screw with BU and BC in tournaments. You just don't screw with BU and BC in tournaments. You just don't screw with Hockey East. I mean, they're just, you just don't screw with them. It's just, they're built for tournaments. Both of them it's crazy how good they are.
Weird way, it feels like, this would be the game today that falls in a number. Like Florida wins, Maryland
Numbers
covers.
right. Numbers right. I mean, 6.5 is a big number.
Yeah, 7 right around there. It just
But there is a theory, okay, that they just had their scare. They just had their scare.
Yeah.
So Maryland had a lucky win, right? They had a last second fortuitous shot that goes down. If Queen misses that shot, they're not here. It's Colorado State instead. So there's the theory of the rabbit's foot already has been used, and so Maryland's up against a team with Florida who thinks, oh my gosh, we almost got beat, and by the way, you're now leading by 2 votes. So keep going, Brigade.
Holy crap!
Keep rallying. Keep the votes coming here. HBK bets. Go to the at HBK bets for the voting. But that Florida wins by 10 plus today. I don't know what they win by. They just win. That's it. Florida wins. I don't know what they. I don't know the number, but they win. Arizona Duke. This game is being. I'm so confident that Duke wins. It scares me. Because I feel like it's like, wait a minute, this is too easy. That like everyone's like, oh, Duke wins. Do they cover? I don't know, but like I'm very concerned about Duke right now because of how easy this game seems for them.
Yeah, it really does. It has to be literally Arizona's best game, Love's best game, everything best game, and Duke has to really
be bad,
miss multiple shots for multiple trips, multiple times down the floor. I don't know. There's just this one, Duke's not losing today. I don't think so.
And then finally, late night, East Coast, 10 o'clock tip time, Arkansas, Texas Tech, and San Francisco.
I'm excited to watch this game.
Can't wait to watch this.
I feel like this will be.
This is the game of the day for me.
I think this will be the most fun game of the day. Arkansas is a live dog. It's the public dog. It's the most bet dog. It's not even close of the day.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean it's going to lose. It's just the most bet dog. Money line, points.
I mean, you talk about a lot. Load up the account and go and sit. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna sit here. I only have one book to play with here in New Hampshire, but I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna fire in game like crazy in this game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be all
have
about it.
Opportunities, side and total.
Yeah,
right. Because
I'm just taking the points and then playing off of it. Like I think Arkansas's live to win the game. I'm taking the 5.5 and say, okay, let's see what I can get from a money perspective on Texas Tech in game. Let's see if I can get +5, +4, something along those lines for a middle perspective, and then just kind of like go back and forth on this.
Will you see the end of this game?
Yes. Yeah, I'm still on West Coast time. I mean, I went to bed at 3:00 in the morning last night. I'm on West Coast time. I'm not yet on East Coast time. If this game was being played like Sunday night, probably no way I'm asleep.
Fair.
But for right now,
I'll bet
I'm still on West Coast time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be up. It just just given I mean, again, I landed at Logan last night at 1 a.m. So like get in the car and come all the way up here. And
Was it cold when you got in the car?
It's 35 degrees.
Was it really? Nice.
I went from 90 to 35. I dropped nearly 60 degrees in 5 hours. I was like, what the hell is this?
That's pretty
It
cool.
sucked. I was so pissed off. Oh no, Roger Long, you're teasing college basketball.
Oh boy.
No teasing.
All right,
Why-
Rog.
Are you alt betting Roger, or is that a tease? Which one is that? If it's an alt, I don't really hate it, but teasing it is
multiple lines. Yeah. I think I like under. I think the game goes under.
Texas Tech wins then.
Yeah.
If this game goes under, Texas Tech wins. I don't hate that play.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're all
My
Ross is
favorite
all,
play in the game is under.
let's go. Will I be up in the morning? Well, that's a whole different conversation. Because this morning, 9:30 came around and I thought someone hit me over the head with a baseball bat.
Right.
I was like, oh my, it was 6:30 in the morning for me, West Coast time.
Yes.
I was like, oh, this is really not good. I'm tired. Like, I'm not in love with any of that. So yeah, well, in the morning, different story, but late night, I will be watching this game tonight. 100%. I'm ecstatic. This is such a fun sports day. I was just going through it, going like, my goodness gracious, like there's certain days in the sports calendar that when you get something like this, you have to appreciate it because we talked about it in the beginning part of the show. There's so many amazing games to look at. 14 baseball games, 10 hockey games, 7 NBA games. I'm not going to touch the NBA today. I don't even know who's playing in the NBA today, but we get 4 Sweet 16 games going into this. It's just an unbelievable sporting day to watch and be a part of it.
I think, like I said, the NBA has got a couple games that might appeal to someone. Memphis and OKC normally would, but it's 10.5, 11.
Whew.
I mean, how do you bet that? I think the Bulls cover against the Lakers.
Right.
+4.
Celtics won their 14th or 15th road game last night, and it's like,
destroyed the Suns again. Like
without Tatum. Without Tatum.
Wasn't even close.
Killed him without Tatum.
Is Ja even playing? Adam with 2 M's, 2555. I don't think so.
Well, right now, the NBA, we're in that part of the year where so I get alerts from different accounts when in or out players.
Right.
At about 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific, it turns into just an absolute crap show on my cell phone with players in, players out. Like the amount of movement that we're seeing, and Ja's out. Thank you, Adam. He's out.
Thank you. Yep.
So there's just so many guys who are resting right now because we're into the home stretch, the last 15 games of the season. Certain teams trying to make the playoffs. You really need to look at the standings to see whether or not the team needs the game.
Yeah.
Because guys are sitting because they don't need to play because it doesn't matter.
That was the NBA portion of the show, Kyle and Marcus Doughboy. That's it. I got nothing else for you.
Yeah, that's about it. It is time for, and I actually could go a lot more to this, but better. I wish I was betting baseball because I would put baseball games onto this, but I'm not betting baseball today. I'm watching baseball for the next couple of days just to get a feel for what these teams are going to look like. But I do think the Red Sox and the Rangers game is going to be a fun game to watch. I would bet the under in that game. I bet the under in most games in baseball today. I have a hard time seeing offense, although Baltimore and Toronto, it's already 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Yankees and the Brewers, it's 2-1 in the top of the fourth. So I think that total was 3.5 in the first 5 for those two for that game. So you're going to be sweating that out for the next couple of innings.
Which game?
Yankees and the Brewers. First 5 was 3.5, I believe. It's 2-1. It's 2-1 top 4.
8?
Yeah, 7.5 or 8.
Let's see. 8. So yeah, it was either 3.5 or 4.
So you're gonna sweat that out a little bit on that. Red Sox Rangers getting started. Cleveland and the Royals getting started. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what Reagan's looks like.
The Royals are in the complete baby blue. It's not Saturday. That's great.
Opening day, baby blue.
Bottom. Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Okay, Jimmy. Well, you're betting Vlad to go deep. Well, then you're gonna think he's gonna have a big year because he's trying to get his way out of Toronto. So
Yeah.
they made him an offer last night. He said no. So, like I mentioned, BYU plus 5.5 against Alabama. I think they beat him outright.
Yeah, I like over. I think BYU team total is probably good too.
Yeah.
This will be a good way to start. If they shoot bad, you're toast.
Yeah.
They could shoot themselves out of covering, let alone winning.
Yeah, against Houston, they
just
scored 96 against Iowa State. Next day, they scored 52. So.
Correct. I'd say you've seen it just last week.
But then again, Alabama's not Houston in terms of defense.
Oh, yeah, they're not even, no.
So, wow, down to 4.5.
4.5, 5, yeah.
Okay, wow. Yeah, money on BYU. It's the right play on BYU.
Okay.
I think they win the game outright. I think Alabama's defense is going to be a big problem. It gets exposed. Arkansas plus 5.5, like I mentioned.
I think this is a book it. I'll say book it. I just don't know. I don't know why.
Just everyone's on Arkansas.
It is over and over and over, but this might be the thing that we see the not carryover, right?
Okay.
Like they played just perfect, and Calipari's been doing his thing. And is there a coaching mismatch in this?
Experience-wise, yes. Dramatic. But,
Right, but
X's and O's, I don't know. We'll find out.
did Juan Soto get to hit his first at bat as a
Did he really? Good for him.
Yeah.
Grant McCaskill's is a good coach. I don't know if I would put him in the Calipari category. Young guy, up and coming.
Yeah. I think
Calamari.
this is just that one. That's what I mean. Like if you give them a poll, they're going to vote Arkansas plus 5.5 is going to be overwhelmingly the side. And when those dogs come in like that, again, it's the book guy and me saying book it, take it. But good luck, Arkansas backers.
Yeah, a lot of talent. I've hit 5 of 6 days, 2-leg money line parlays.
Are the Bruins playing today? Just bet against the Bruins.
Rest of the year. I said it before.
Dear God, they were bad last night.
They are tanking.
I wore the Mighty Ducks stuff, and it looked like I really was all over it. They destroyed them.
And the Bruins lost 2-1 earlier in the year when they were trying against Anaheim, and then they wind up beating them last night. They beat the brakes off the Bruins last night.
Yeah,
I mean, the Bruins want to lose every game the rest of the way. They want a top 5 pick.
Whew.
So yeah,
so Duke and Florida money line parlay. I mean, I'll say book it only because
who loses?
It's that easy. It's
yes. Who loses?
It's got to be Florida. That's the only way. That's the only way this loses. And if you don't think Florida's going to lose, then bet this.
I don't think Florida's going to lose.
Yeah,
I don't think. I mean, I have a 20-1 ticket on them. I can't hedge against it yet, and so I've been on Florida for a while. They just had their scare, and again, it's Kevin Willard. I'm not. I like Todd Golden a whole lot more than Kevin Willard. So they've gotten 2 extremely. Again, this is the same coach who couldn't figure out that there was one player on Michigan's team that could go coast to coast in 5 seconds, and he couldn't have a defense drawn up to stop it. So I know can't do it. Yeah, look, I mean, you can add Houston tomorrow if you want JPC, but I'm doing a rollover with Houston by themselves.
Does that make it even money? If you add Houston to that parlay, I think that makes it even money. Might even make it a small plus.
All right. So see, here's my dilemma. Okay. So I did this. I was driving to the book and I was talking to myself because I had planned on taking $100 and rolling it over in every game for Houston.
Right.
And so then I went to the book and said, I won my first bet. And I was like, over the first 2 bets. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take this $147 and I'm going to put it on Duke in Florida. And Florida almost burned the whole thing to the ground.
Right.
So a part of me feels like I've already jumped.
You already got by that. Yeah.
So if I do it again and Houston wins,
I'm
going to kick myself in the head because I'm like, I just don't parlay, Matt. Just straight it like the way it's supposed to be. Bet it straight. Like, don't parlay it. But it's plus 106 if you do it.
I'll put you in a very envious position tomorrow if you get those 2 in.
I wouldn't even hedge it. It's
you wouldn't take the points even in game plus 12.5.
Maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I plus 106. I'm going to put $207 down on that. I'm going to wind up coming in and doubling my money.
Right.
and I'm going to have $400 going into Houston money
Saturday.
line.
Going
Saturday.
Into,
going into the championship, going into the regional final with a $400 money line bet on Houston that I can play off of, like, and then that's when I'll play off of it like crazy.
Right. Ooh.
But if one of them loses, if Florida or Duke lose tonight, I'm going to kill myself because I'm like, man, I should have just kept it with Houston. So like, that's the thing that's going to hold me back from doing that.
Right.
Because I'd rather just lose. If Houston loses, so be it. I'm done. But I like stick to the plan, Matt. I keep I should have stuck to the plan. And I couldn't watch the second half of the Florida game against UConn. I had to leave my house, go to the gym. I didn't see the second half. I was so mad at myself.
It was such an entertaining game too.
I saw the last minute at the gym. I watched the last 1 minute of that, and that's all I watched in the second half because I was so pissed because I was like, why did I do that? Like that, that was a stupid move.
Bigger surprise, chat. Florida losing or Houston losing?
For me, it would be Houston. I can't see Houston losing. Like their defense is just.
How do they lose to Purdue? Like the matchup just doesn't seem like it's even possible.
It's a bad matchup for Purdue. It's a bad
right.
Purdue.
Butchie said Houston. I say Houston. Yeah, Houston. Definitely a bigger surprise.
Yeah. So like to me, it's just take the money and put it on money line, even though it's only winning like $45, whatever it is. Just take it and roll it over. And then I got $250, $300 riding with Houston to win, and I can just
you have 147. You said right, so minus 150. It's 147 to win 100.
So no, that's not they're minus 365. Houston tomorrow.
No, this Duke Florida money line parlay.
No, I'm not rolling that over into this.
Oh
no. I could if I want to. I mean that's the question, right? Is do I take the 147 and bet it on Duke Florida Houston? Do I do that?
Florida Houston, you double the money. That's plus money. Here
right.
you got to lay 150.
Well, what's the difference? I mean, it's the same bet.
Well, no, 150 wins 150. If you
right, and then rolling it over into Houston tomorrow. It's the same bet.
Yeah. Jeez.
All three have to win.
410 right now.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I mean, I may have to bet. I may have to do that. As looking at it, I may have to take the 147. Go ahead and do that. So, guys, if you're watching on the replay, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. You're listening on Sirius XM or on Sports Grid Television. If you're watching live, do not move. You get bonus time right now. That's going to be, it's minus 410 at DraftKings. I only have one book here unless I want to go drive to Massachusetts. I don't really want to do that.
How long is that?
From Manchester, 30 minutes. To make one bet.
Physical location, or are you just going to go over the border and then be able to bet?
Either or. I could do both.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, really, when I used to do it when I lived in Massachusetts, we drive up to exit number 1, make the bet, and then go back down until now Mass is legal, and there's 8 books or 9 books in Massachusetts.
Right.
I can go back, but the only physical location is in the city. It's in Boston. So come to Mass. I have presents for you. Thanks, Ross.
There you go.
Appreciate it. Come down. I may need to go. I don't know. So I don't know what to do with that. So if you were me, what's the to do a Florida Duke money line parlay or do the Florida Duke Houston parlay? I've already bet Florida and Duke, but I can bet it again. Not for that money.
Yeah, I mean Houston's not losing tomorrow. I think
though.
The way you like it, yeah, but again, I mean you could do the chalk, and it's plus 106. You wake up tomorrow and you need Houston to double your money.
Let's see what that parlay would. That parlay at DraftKings would pay me at the moment. It's minus 111 at DraftKings. You don't even get plus money at DraftKings. So I would, yeah. So I almost double my money.
There you go. It's getting expensive. I mean, the favorites are, the books need one favorite to lose.
Yeah, that's my worry.
I don't know.
Tonight's that Maryland is the team that does it to Florida. I can see that.
well, the one that they don't want to happen is.
I'd rather just lose my
Texas
minus
Tech.
150, lose 1.5 units betting
Right.
Florida and Duke tonight,
Right.
and then
have
just
that.
then have that personally. But like, I get like Duke Houston. If we just did a take out Florida and do a Duke Houston, that's minus 217. That's I win
Wow,
$65.
Right.
That's a $65 one.
Wow.
So I'm going to admit, I am hesitant, but that's why Duke loses today, because I'm so confident that Duke wins.
Right.
That Duke, like it's the punch that you don't see coming is the one that hurts the most.
Fish Killer 73 said to add the Red Sox World Series in there and it will pay out way higher. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it will wind up having me be cashing that ticket in October.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Sitting at the
I
top.
would like my money back,
pending
please.
tickets. It's so annoying.
For a long
Like
time.
getting the paper tickets for that stuff.
Yeah. No.
Staring at that for 5 months sucks.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you for that. Favorite thing about today is what?
So tonight we have middle school orientation. Big
Are you?
night to go toward
God.
the school.
Maddie's is not for next month.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy. Though. Your
that's-
last one. Your last hurrah. Be my first.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
It'll be fun. So no
Do they do
school
move up
trip
day?
tonight. What's that?
Do they do move up day?
What's that?
Where you go and spend a day at the school?
I have no idea. I just found out about this last night. I was told.
Maddie has they do it at the last week of school. They send them up. They do move up day where they spend the whole day as if they're
Okay.
going to do it at the new school.
Well, I'm finding out today. So, after she gets home from school, we're going up to the school. We're gonna
Nice.
see where the rooms are and all this other stuff. And, grandma's going to know the route, how to get there. And, so she's driving too. So it's a big deal. But yes, it's the last one. So it's cool. But I know now there's no possibilities that I'm doing this again.
Okay.
So I'm really taking it all in, because I thought I was done and I wasn't done.
Right.
Kendall was, again, saved my life literally in so many ways. But this will be the last middle school that I will go to for a kid of my own. Let's put it that way. No matter how good the title shots are, it ain't happening again.
For the kid of your own. Okay. As we have to clarify that.
I'll go I'll go to other middle schools for other kids.
Right. Not your own.
Coach and this and that. But a kid of my own, this is the last one. Done.
Is it emotional?
No, I'm more emotional about skiing starting right now. It's a third one for me. I mean, it's the first time for this school. It's a brand new school. Her sisters didn't go here. This is her first, like this elementary school is all her. Her sisters, this school wasn't even born.
Okay.
Built when she was, going to it. So when they were going to elementary school, in the middle school she's at now, we're in a different zone for a different area. So Kelsey played softball against this middle school that we're going to, Kendall's going to go to. So this is all new for everybody. So
is it closer or farther from the house?
It's closer to the house than where they went to middle school and where we lived before. So it should be
because they're going to school an hour earlier next year.
Oh, I know. Yeah, everything changes. The whole schedule changes.
It's gonna suck.
Wait till they go to high school. It's another hour ahead. Dropping your kid off at 6:30 to be ready for first bell at 6:50.
6:50.
Yeah.
Oh God, do we go to school that early?
No, it's a West Coast thing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
do we get them in early before the sun and heats up, and then they're out, and half the kids go to school for 3 hours, in senior year. It's crazy.
Well, that's what I mean, that was me. I didn't go to school.
Yeah, but you weren't on a program. You were doing that on your own program.
No, I was on a program. I mean, it was. I had open ends. It was called. I had no school. I had no class first period, no class in 8th period. So I was allowed to, I rolled in basically whenever I wanted to roll in, essentially. But I came in, I came in even later than I was supposed to, and I left even earlier than I was supposed to. But I was allowed to do that. Open ends allowed me to do that. That was not frowned upon on that.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's going to be the early morning next year. That's going to be the problem.
It's
Like,
not fun.
There's a lot of things that I'm not looking forward to it, but that's going to be like, it's hard enough getting her ready and getting her up and getting her good to going now. Now we're doing
It's a major change.
An hour ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like we're going.
Bedtime changes, everything changes. It's nothing. No, it's a big transition year, and their bodies are going through a lot. The kids are, not always nice. Middle school is all different. And then, by the way, everything's starting an hour earlier. Oh yeah. Winter is the worst.
Why?
Because it's dark. It never, you're driving to school and dropping them off, and it's still dark. Yes.
Oh God. Yeah. I guess I didn't really think of that. Like that was, that probably is not something I'm looking forward to doing, to be quite honest. My favorite thing about today, I was looking for it, but I can't find it. Do you remember the picture of me in high school with the Oasis shirt on?
Yeah.
I think most people in the brigade probably remembers
that
it.
Hair thing?
So I had shaved underneath the long hair for me. So that was my junior year in high school when I had hair like that. It's 8-3 BU, by the way. My God. Okay. BU. I got my birthday present from Amanda. I don't know if you can see this or not.
What is that?
She was a former art teacher.
Okay.
It's your phone wallpaper. No, it's not, Addison. Don't tell me that. If it is, I love you for that. If that actually is true. If my picture of me in junior high school is that. She gave me a ticket, one ticket, because it's so hard to get, but a ticket for Oasis in Scotland in August.
Oh.
I saw Oasis by myself when I was 16 years old in Boston. And it's been a band that's been with me forever. And so she's been waiting for me to go ahead. That's a good point. How's this surcharge on the novelty ticket? It's a great point.
Right.
Because she and I talked one day. I'm like, I miss physical tickets. Like I wanted like a physical ticket.
Of course.
So she has a digital ticket. So she made me a physical ticket, when she gave it to me today for my birthday. She was like, here. So I haven't seen Oasis in 30 years, basically. And now I'm going to see them in Scotland.
By yourself?
Well, she's going to come with me on the trip, but she doesn't she doesn't want to go to the concert. The ticket prices are insane.
Okay.
So she's like, here, you're going to go by yourself, go have fun. And it's fine because like nobody would understand. Not even my daughter would understand why this band means so much for me. So like, this is just like me going back and walking around with 17-year-old me at 47, 48, getting to go and experience something that I experienced 30 years ago, getting to experience it again. But this time I've never been to England. I've never been to anywhere on that. So I just got a passport. I'm 47 years old. I got my first passport in my life.
Nice.
2 weeks ago. So, and because we're going to a trip later on in April, but now I'm getting to use it again. So favorite thing about today is that I get to go walk down memory lane by myself in the middle of Scotland,
That's
a place.
fantastic.
I just want to see St. Andrews. I just want to see the birthplace of golf. I don't need to do anything. I just want to look at it. I just want to see the course. That's all I said to Michael. I don't care what we're doing, but just let me see that golf course once in my life. So that's my favorite thing about today.
Well, that's good. You'll be over there then, and that's when Bet Bash is. So we ain't got to worry about doing Bet Bash. That's good.
That's the weekend of Bet Bash?
Yeah, that following Monday.
Well, I'm going to be back. I mean, technically, I'll be back. It's August the 11th?
Yeah.
First day of school.
So you're going to go to the concert Sunday and leave?
Well, it's Saturday night.
Wow.
So Saturday night, get up Sunday morning, fly back. Because Maddie might be coming with me. So if the four of us might be going over there. So we'd go during the week. So I'll be back if it's the 11th, I'm back.
It's the following week.
So I'm back.
Okay.
So I can technically still do, if we want to do the Bet Bash show, I will be. I'm only going over there for 4 days. It's fast.
Oh my God.
Not a long trip.
Wow.
Okay, so at the closing, if you have not gone and voted, go vote right now. We're closing in 27 minutes, right?
Let me see. 1 hour left right now. So
1 hour left. Okay.
2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. Yeah.
51%,
Slightly ahead.
49%.
Look
So
at that.
if you haven't gone and voted
So
yet,
many votes.
Chicago Kristen, Taylor Swift is my daughter's thing. Oasis is my thing. Like, this is my band. This is nothing. I mean, Taylor was great, but it was more for my daughter. It was more of the experience with my sister, really, too. It was more about their music, and I got to connect with them and their music. This is my music. This is for me. This is nothing very different. This is a very different situation for me to go see at a soccer stadium in Edinburgh. It's at Murfield, Scottish Gas Murfield Stadium is where it is. Rain or shine, by the way. Rain or shine.
With the price of the ticket, that was no question anyway.
Doesn't really matter. I'm going to go. I will not be sober. I will have the, it'll be a very fun time. So go
Pirates
vote.
And Marlins, by the way, Nerfy paid.
There we go. Minus 180.
No score, second.
Only pay the juice when you lose. Go vote right now. HBK bets.
Get this one home.
Go vote right now. Down 17 votes. We need 17 votes. Get going. DM wants he wants a link to the vote. If you scroll up,
Addison put it in there.
Yeah. So somebody before
if you don't have Twitter, I'm gonna post it right now. I'm gonna come up with some crafty thing, and as soon as we hang up here, I'm gonna put it up and make a last second push. We'll see what we can do.
You need a like a Miracle on Ice reference or something for a 16 seed.
Yeah, we'll figure something out
to come up and do that. Roll call Friday, boys and girls. There it is in the chat, DM. There it is from Sonic. Thank you for doing that. HBK Bets on Twitter to go ahead and do that. And so we'll give you an update on what happens with the final vote tomorrow on the program. Friday, 4 more Sweet 16 games, a whole lot more baseball games, NHL, NBA, big Friday on the show coming up tomorrow. He is Dave. I am Matt. Hope to see you guys both tomorrow for a Friday BVB Roll Call Friday.